Okay, so here we are, Cammie. A couple of weeks later from your epic run round the Glencoe Skyline race. So I thought it'd be fun just to sort of catch up after the event to sort of follow up. We did an interview on this LOVEUltras before, and we got your thoughts and ideas. So I thought it'd be good to get afterwards. But first of all, congratulations!
Thanks very much.
What a tremendous effort! You finished 140th.
Right, that's right.
12 hours, 18 and how many seconds?
No idea.
Yeah,
you didn't really remember that.
Yeah, I think it was 30 or something. But it was, in a sense, it was well inside the 14 hours. I remember your face when you said, and it's light. It's light. I was expecting to finish in the dark.
I did, seriously did. So disappointed you couldn't use the head torch. I've been carrying
So I'd like to sort of tease out the race, how it went, but just what were your overall thoughts of the event and the race?
Very positive.
Yep.
I thoroughly enjoyed the whole event. The route really made the whole event more than anything else, and having such good weather in the day made a big difference, because obviously bad weather in any race is not so good, but when you're kind of running more altitude, the weather's kind of magnified. Bad weather's a lot worse. So I was thinking quite often during it, I'm glad I got such a nice day for it. I wouldn't have wanted to have done it in horrible weather, but you know, so that was a real bonus. But on the whole, it was a great event. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go back. We got there on the Saturday. We got set up in the campsite, didn't we? Registered, went to watch the film, which was great, wasn't it? There was 4 different films, and we enjoyed those, didn't we?
Yes, it did. Particularly the last one was good.
Yes, that's right.
I think called The Hard Way.
Yeah.
By an old guy, Bob, who's 89 years of age, and he's still running ultras. And John said to me, "That'll be us too when we're 89." I hope so, but that was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was very good. And then on the you had a decent sleep, and then we got up early. We dropped you off about 6:45, and then we decided we would drive round to the bottom of the Devil's Staircase and walk up, because I realised that to see the top guys it would be a bit tight doom-wise.
Yeah.
So just talk us through that first sort of 7 or 8 miles to the bottom of the Devil's Staircase when we saw you.
Okay.
How did the start go?
The start was fine. I was very conscious, you know, there was a lot of adrenaline running, and people were kind of jostling for position, but I was really keen to stick to my plan of not going out too hard, and so as soon as I hit the inclines, I forced myself to kind of speed hike and not worry about people passing me, and so I just kind of kept that discipline, and that actually again reaped dividends for the latter stages of the race, and but it was quite enjoyable because we got a wonderful experience of watching dawn break, and just and because of hiking up you could see what's going on around you. It was really nice. Going over the double staircase, I always like coming down the double staircase more than going up. So and obviously seeing yourselves at the bottom to get a wee cheer was good. So and that was a kind of a good first hour and a quarter, I think, I want to get to double staircase it took me, and pretty much what you thought it would be, and you did say that. So, but I was probably for the first 2.5 hours I was running towards a kind of low heart rate, and then I just picked it up thereafter, but I could because I had been running slower, so that helped, and obviously I could see my placings getting better.
Yeah, I think I looked today, I think you were something like 190th at the first checkpoint, and you finished 140th, so you overtook 50 people from there onwards, which I think is probably is about right, isn't it, from where you were.
Yeah.
So after you saw us, and we were quite happy, you looked quite comfortable, and it looks like you controlled yourself. And then you had the curved ridge. I've never been up there, so just tell us a little bit about what it's like.
It's I mean it's very exposed, probably more exposed in a sense than the Anarchia, because you're just going up a vertical face rather than along the top. So that was one of my key moments of looking at it was when I was standing near the bottom and I looked up and you could see 50, 60 runners racing up the ridge, and I thought this is fantastic just to see that image. A lot of guys had cameras and were taking photographs as they were going up because it was such a spectacular view. Obviously the downside with that, because I was hoping that we'd get a free run at it, but there was quite a long bottleneck, so it meant that you're probably lost between 20 to 30 minutes on that section where you had to stand and wait before you moved, and when you did move it was very small step because it only takes 1 or 2 slow climbers and then very quickly there's a whole bottleneck all the way down. So that was a kind of frustrating point, but there was nothing else you could do other than wait. It would be bad form if you tried to go round somebody where there might be rockfall, etc. So everybody was disciplined. No one tried to do anything silly, which is good. They had mountain guys all the way up, roped in, maybe three mountain guys, and the first one, the lady, I started chatting to her, nothing else to do sort of thing, and I said who first came through. It was Killian. He came through and she said he just made it look completely effortless. And you guys are all working hard getting up this, but he said he just kind of just drifted up. But that's such as the skill and the talent that he has. So I really enjoyed that route. I was disappointed I had lost so much time, but on the whole, it was a really good ascent to get to the top.
I must admit, Cammie, I thought it'd be quite interesting just to compare your legs with Killian, and it wasn't to sort of belittle you at all.
No.
It was just to, I think when you've got a world class athlete on the same course. And he finished in 6 hours 25, so he's almost 6 hours quicker than you.
Yes,
but I think that was one of the biggest differences, and I think part of it was that he didn't have to wait because he was at the front. Then he could just go through it; nothing held him up. Whereas, from what chatting to you, you did have to wait for maybe a good 20 minutes, even longer, over that time. But it was fascinating just to look at some of the legs and the speed. And the other one, the big one, was on the Anakina Ridge. And he sort of, because there was a group of them, and then he just took off, I think, over that and took 20 minutes out of the next guy.
I mean, the guy who took 20 minutes out of them, world-class runners.
That's right.
And obviously he was in his element. And when I looked at the splits, and I had a good leg at the Anakina, but I saw how much faster. I would just love to be able to run behind to see how he actually physically does it, because I'm quite sure you could learn from him, but I think he just jumped from pinnacle to pinnacle. It's like the human equivalent of a mountain goat. So, but I think that's his strength, apparently, to do so, and that's where he basically won the race on the Anakina. So it was, I know in some ways it's quite sobering to see how much faster it is, but it just makes you more aware how fantastic a runner he is.
So after the curved ridge, then you had a few more little peaks, didn't you? And then you came down into checkpoint 5, and we'd driven round and walked up and were waiting for you there. And I remember beforehand you were saying that you knew to get to checkpoint 11 for the cut-off, you really needed to be under 11, half 11. So what? Under half 11,
between 11 and half 11, the latest I needed to be. And I never looked at my watch because I knew that because I was going as fast as I could. So I thought if I look at my watch and I'm not as far under I thought I would, then I find it mentally that would have been helpful. So it wasn't until I saw you just above checkpoint 5. There's John, and I thought, well, I'm going to look at my watch, and it was just about 10 past 11. So I was pretty much bang in the middle, which I thought the game's still on. I've just got to keep working hard, but I had to work so hard to get to that point to give me the confidence to try and keep on going, because I knew, and it turns out it was about right, the time to get there.
Now, when you went past us at that point, you did say, I'm feeling tired now, and it looked as though you had been working hard. So obviously that next section from there to checkpoint 11, you go over the Three Sisters, and is that the out and back one as well?
Yeah, so I never managed.
That
was the only part I didn't recce, because the day I got out of the weather was really, really bad, and I wasn't, and I completely missed, and I didn't know which point to come off to do that sideways, so I had missed it out, but I hadn't appreciated how much I was down and up, and then just to come back down and back up again. So mentally I'm thinking, oh no, but I think I just got on with it and just kind of do it. So, but that was mentally quite a hard thing. For a lot of people, I think find that hard as well.
Now, presumably, as you were going out, there's people coming back on it. Was everyone chatting, and was there lots of?
No, everybody's pretty. There was one guy who took time to read my name, and he said, "Oh, keep going, Cameron." And I thought, and he really buoyed you up, because he's a cheery face, and he run faster and longer than I had at the time. So I made a point of when I came back to say to somebody, "Oh, keep going, you're doing really well." Just try and encourage him, because it does give you a lift. So, but I think that helped. I mean, there was a lot of foreign and international people, so there was a wee bit of a language barrier. Sometimes we're trying to talk to them, and they go, I don't understand, sort of thing. So, just sort of smiled and just kind of carried on. But yeah, that was quite a tough bit going out and back, just to go back to the same point you were at.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, there's the same with us because the first time we saw people, everyone's still early on in the race, but the second time, just before checkpoint 5, as people went past, I was asking how you going, how you feel, and it's really funny. Some say, yeah, I feel great, and others, I'm starting to struggle, my knees sore or that sort. But obviously, quite a few people didn't understand, because obviously English is their first language. So that was good. Okay, so from there you went over the peaks, and then you had to get down to checkpoint 11 by 3 o'clock, and that was going to be the key one, wasn't it?
It was.
And it was a beautiful day, wasn't it? Because we were there waiting, and we had the binoculars out looking for you, and trying to spot runners and how long they were taking from when we could see them to get down. So were you fairly comfortable that you were going to make it?
To be honest, again, I didn't look at my watch. I didn't really want to see. I thought, I'm going as hard as I can, and it really wasn't until about literally 5 minutes before coming in checkpoint, and then looked at my time to see what it was, just in case I had to sprint. And I could for a short bit, but so I had a good descent. Again, obviously I was able to pass a lot of people in the race. I knew I was moving well, and it wasn't, as I say, I got there and I realised I just had 19 minutes to spare, and I said, to get out of the checkpoint, not just to arrive, the cut off was to get out of the checkpoint, so I arrived with 19 minutes to spare, which is quite a relief. Yeah. And it was funny, I said, because we were looking for you and had the binoculars out, and you had like a lime green top. That's right.
So it was really, we could spot that for miles. And it was interesting, there was someone about 10-15 minutes ahead of you who had a similar top, slightly brighter.
Okay.
So when we saw him, then we knew you'd be coming fairly soon. So that was a good marker. But we didn't see you, and I was starting to get a little bit concerned. And then suddenly you were there, and you had a red top on. You messed us around by putting this. It's like a gilet top.
Gilet top, yeah.
So you came in, and I thought you were in good spirits there.
Yes.
You sat down. You had about 10 minutes, and a couple of blisters that you had on the tops of your toes, and we sorted those out. You got some coke, but you looked in good spirits to us. Is that
I think it was a relief in some ways, because I knew that was the critical checkpoint, and I know that for a lot of people got timed out getting to that checkpoint, so I knew that if I could get there, I had a good chance that I could get to the end within the final checkpoint. So in a sense, I had a wee bit of a weight off my shoulders, but I knew I had a long way to go. I still technically 6 hours to go, but I was just glad to I had that checkpoint out of the way, sort of thing. So psychologically, that was good.
So what was that climb like? Because it looked horrendous to me. You've already been going for 3 o'clock, so 7 hours by then.
8 hours.
8 hours by then, and then you got this long a tough climb.
Well, because I had done a recce of it, and it took me roughly the same time to get from Browerdenning to top of Ben Lomond's, about an hour and 15 minutes ish. So I kind of knew what was involved, so that was helpful. But it was just a hard slog to keep going up. And I watched Killian on that video, and I'm thinking, he's actually running up this, and the guys behind him, the two guys behind him were bent down, and he was just very light feet, just running away, and he smiled at the camera, he went by. I'm thinking, how on earth do you run up that? So again, it just I
don't know whether he ran all the way or whether he just ran for the
camera. I should have done that as well. I know. But a good thing was I knew I had a good leg at the top to look forward to, because that was probably my favourite part of the race. So I suppose in some way that helped, knowing that I had something good to look forward to.
And I think there was a couple of guys just before and just around you. So did you keep with them, or?
I think I overtook one, and one overtook me. It was basically, I was aware of trying to kind of creep through the field. So I think looking back at my splits, I had gained a few places before I got to the top. So that was good, because I thought I would tire more, but no, I was still waiting for the wheels to come off, to be honest, because I've been pushing so hard for so long. A wee bit different from West Highland Way, when I'm kind of running within myself more, whereas this, because you're going uphill, your heart rate's elevated, and I just thought I'm going to bonk here at some point, but thankfully it didn't happen. So but it was a good climb.
And certainly from checkpoint 11 to the end, I think you gained over 20 places, maybe 25 places. So you must have been going well.
Going well. And here I was counting as I went by, because I thought it helped give you a boost, passing people. And it's a difficult place to pass, because there is only one kind of single file. So, but the guys were really good. I never once said to them, kind of get by. They could see and sense her coming behind, and they'll get to a safe point and then let me by and then keep going. So people were quite generous in letting people go by. So I think I passed 10 just on the one end and a kick to the other. So that was probably my strongest leg in terms of places I took, and but it was very enjoyable.
Yeah, and you're telling us there was a marshal who gave you a bit of an encouragement as well, wasn't there?
There's a part called the Pinnacles, and it's probably the crux of the anarchy, and they had a marshal, a lady at the top, and then down at the bottom was one of the mountain rescue guys kind of roped in, and so she said a few words of encouragement. Then I remember this, and basically quite a deep descent, so I kind of tiptoed and hopped down, and keeping an eye firm on what we were doing. And they got to the bottom, and the mountain rescue guy said to me, "Well, you made that look easy." You know, so it was a nice compliment to get that, because I did enjoy it, and I knew it was moving well. So that was nice to be acknowledged from somebody else. So that was an encouragement.
Yeah, yeah. And so that last run down into Kynaston, again, I think before you came, about an hour or two before, we walked up a fair way and just watched a few runnings down. And then when it got to about 7 o'clock, we thought, no, we want to actually see you finish. So we want down. And again, it was quite interesting. You got some runners who had obviously left enough, and they were running strongly all the way down, you know, past the big pipes.
Yes,
and we were there, and they were really running strongly. Others looked as though they'd given everything, and they were just had just enough left to finish. So where were you in that?
Once I hit the track, the West Highland Way track, and then I had a good run. I was running strongly all the way down. I had to stop for water because I had nothing I couldn't gather any water since I left you, because there's no water on the ridge.
Okay.
So I knew I was dehydrated, so I stopped the river just to take a couple of minutes to try and refuel. But again, I had passed a few people on that track on the way down. But what I found was getting down to the track was quite tricky, and because it's so wet and grass, and it's so muddy, because 150 people had gone by that day, that it was difficult.
And both ways, because they'd all gone up.
But that part was just in the return leg to get onto the track, so I found that was really tricky, because you couldn't really get any speed up. You know, it's a long gradual descent, because you're back in your backside very quickly, so that would be a bit frustrating. So I came to the marshals, just looking up, and started cheering you. And I shouted down, "This is the point where I'm going to slip," you know, and they laughed, and I did. And I was just managed to freeze just to slip before I fell down. And they were quite laughing at that. So, but no, on the whole, I finished strong. That wasn't my last leg, which is good. You know, I'd rather have a strong start. I finished with a strong start, so that's important.
Yeah. Well, I did some little video clips, and I put that together that people might have seen. And your finish, you really milked it, didn't you? With your Usain Bolt pose and your Superman pose.
I mean, people are there, and they've been waiting a long time, and I know it can be a bit boring, but so I thought, well, trying to make it more worth a while, you know, a wee bit entertaining, you know, but it's all part of the fun.
No, it was, and it was a genuine surprise for you, wasn't it, to finish in the daylight?
Yes, I was convinced that I was going to finish in the dark, because I probably had about 15-20 minutes before I hit dark, before I finished, and and of course I had a head torch, which is compulsory for carrying around, but I'm so glad I finished in the light, because I wouldn't have wanted to done the long descent. It was muddy and slippy to do it in the dark, because I had the red marker flags, and it was hard enough something to see in the daylight. If it's a dark time, unless you got a really good torch, you know, sometimes it goes away over here or here. So it's a benefit if you can finish in the light.
I think that's why they have that 3 o'clock cut off, don't they, at checkpoint 11, because if it was any later, people might be still on the top in the dark, which could be dangerous.
No, I think the cut-off time was correct. That you really had to understand they weren't evenly spaced, because the checkpoint 11 was so difficult to meet. You could be comfortable well ahead of other checkpoints, and all of a sudden you're right behind. Doing the recce route really helped to highlight that to me, to make me work out, I can't be there at 1, I need to be there at 11. So that was good.
Yeah. So as you reflect on it now, a couple of weeks later, what's the sort of feeling about the actual time and your race and the way it went?
Well, it went better than expected again, so that was very positive. My legs kind of recovered well. I didn't get any tendinitis, which I maybe had from West Highland Way, so that was good. The thing that I learned, I could have done better. Thing that I tried, it worked really well. So, and I always write these things down after the race, because I always believe there's always room for improvement. And because one of the things that I noticed about this type of race, maybe as opposed to normal ultras at a low level, is the changeability in the weather and temperatures at the top, because I'm very conscious. Over a period of 5-10 minutes, you can go from probably slightly too warm to being actually quite cold, because obviously the prevailing side of the mountain to the lee side, and the weather is very changeable. And I had tried something out which I hadn't really done before, but I had, and again it worked really well. I had arm warmers which I could roll up and down without having to keep going into my bag to take a jacket out or something warm, and I also carried a buff in each wrist. So as soon as it got colder, the arm warmers went up. A buff would go on my neck, one buff would go on my head, and then as soon as it got cooler, then I could take that off, then take this off, and which meant I never had to really stop. It was just almost like micromanaging my clothes. And
I noticed you wore gloves the whole way.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I seem to suffer. Like, my hand get cold quite easily now. Not always been like that, but I find it didn't even have to be that cold for my hand to get really cold. And as soon as I go like that, I lose the dexterity and doing zips or buttons, and I can be real fast. So I kept my gloves on the whole time, and I'm glad I did, because it meant that my hand never really got cold, and if I had to use them for anything difficult, I still had the feel to do that. So so that worked well. So that worked really well. But that's one of the big differences. Me, West Highland Way, the more kind of lower level, you don't get such a big variations in temperature, whereas on your 3,000 feet for a good part of the run, the weather is a lot more changeable, and the last thing you want to do is stop and get stuff out, jacket on and jacket off and sort of stuff.
And that again waste time.
And you get cold and you're stiffing up. The other thing I found it took more of a pounding with my feet. Because it's more rocky terrain, particularly in the tops, and there's a lot of descents, you really thrash your feet. I mean, I'm wearing hawkers, and okay, I've got a couple of blisters, but I felt after a while in the last leg, my feet were quite tenderised underneath. And that's one of the things I wish I had done, and you suggested that well, too late at that point, but to have a fresh pair of socks to change into, because I think that would have probably helped just a wee bit with the feet. And I also learned that I should have competed my toes rather than tape my toes, because the tape came off because my feet were wet and sweating because I'm moving about. That it probably better had a competed, because they tend to stay on better, so when I got the blisters in the first place. So these are kind of things that work well. We do slightly differently.
What about your food and nutrition? How did that work out?
Tailwind again worked really good. I took green tea with the matcha green tea with the caffeine from Checkpoint 11, and that was great towards the end. Again, with hindsight, I probably should have taken Coke more. To me, I filled up one of my bottles with Coke, because I find Coke really works well for me.
Especially the last bit.
The last bit. I wouldn't take it near the beginning, but certainly the last bit. But in terms of, I didn't drink enough. That's one of the things that, and I really missed having my West Highland Way support team, who were really good, because they kept on. I had to keep drinking, and they really helped me maintain my weight. So I didn't take on enough fluids. I weighed myself in the morning before the race, in the morning after, and I had lost 7.5 pounds. That was mainly fluids. That I find that if you take longer to recover, because you've let your body become slightly dehydrated. So again, this is something, a lesson that you're going to have to keep being more disciplined. You had mentioned a comment that played in my mind, was that tailwind can go off. You said, and I realised during my race, thinking I've had one in a bottle, had tailwind powder in for 2 weeks, and I hadn't put water in it, and I'm thinking, oh no, that might have gone off.
Oh, no, that'll be okay.
Well, I didn't want to take a chance. Then I having to kind of empty that bottle, so I lost a bottle because I didn't want to take a chance in case it had gone off, because a bit of moisture in the bottle, and I think, oh, that could be. So I had all these things playing in my mind, so I never took a chance. So I lost a bottle there. But
I think it's more once you've mixed it.
Oh, mixed it.
Yes, then it's only got a certain life. Yeah. Because I remember one race, I mixed them all about 2 days before.
Right. Okay.
And then so they were all ready, but then they weren't much use, because they lose their ability to.
Did it? Right. Well, I didn't want to take a chance. So, but the tailwind. struggled to eat toward the end again. Everything was even more drier because I was probably working harder. So, but I didn't hit the wall, so to speak. No. So that was good.
Yeah. And what about having done the race now? Would you do anything differently in your training? I know you were pretty thorough in the way you prepared, but was there anything that you felt could have been better with your training or preparation, or were you quite happy?
I think I'm quite happy because I did a lot better than I'd hoped to do. So so what we're doing. I was certainly focus on hills. If something like that, I would do a lot more on the stair, that revolving stair machine, and treadmill and a 15-degree incline. I would certainly do more of that, and I would just do more of mountain running, just simulating what I've done. So I wouldn't do anything differently. I would just do more of what I did, so to speak. So that was good.
Yeah, I thought what was interesting, Cammie, is that you said on the way back that that you'd done it over 3 legs. As in 3 consecutive weekends, so you'd cover the whole course, but your time was pretty similar in the race when you put all of them together.
Yes,
which just shows you how good how fit you were, because normally you'd expect to be able to do say the third leg particularly that would be significantly slower because you've already done the first two sections. But so that was encouraging.
I think I had time checked, memorised times, and I realised after I was only losing about 5 minutes per leg, which gave me confidence. I thought, well, great, I'm actually going to finish as long as I don't get the wheels don't fall off. I'm going to finish at a good time. So I thought it probably meant I tapered well. I was more relaxed and ready to go into it. So preparation seemed to be okay.
Good. So would you do it again?
I'm not one for repeating things, but I would thoroughly recommend anybody, even you, John, get a bit of rock climbing experience and go for it, because it is such an iconic route. I mean, you listen to Emily Forsberg raving about it. I mean, she runs all over the world, and I know this is only one of 3 extreme ultra running, sky running races there are in the world, and for good reason. But it's just a fantastic route. You'll never forget.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I've followed your progress, things you've done over the last few years, and you wanted to do an Ironman, you've done that. You wanted to swim the whole of Loch Lomond, and you've done that in 12 hours. You wanted to do the West Highland Way, so you've done that. So, are you going to share with us what's next in your bucket list of ideas?
No. I do have ideas. I've discovered though, when I started the ultra running, and I think I probably said to you that I enjoyed that the least of the 3, and because I didn't think I was very good at it, I was better at other ones, that probably affected my enjoyment. And it was hard, the training, it's hard to become an ultra runner. I mean, there's no bones about it, it's just putting in the hours in all weather. But having started to do the Ben Lomond run with myself, I realised I actually really enjoy running up and running down, and discovered that I was in the downhill section, it kind of played to my strength. And then from there, having done the skyline, realised this is what I enjoy the most, and I actually now say I enjoy ultra running a lot more because of the skyline. So if I do more running, and it'll be probably more mountain running.
Right.
Yeah, so I think at the moment I've got a few things to reflect on.
I'm sure you have.
It's a big birthday next year, so I want to do something to celebrate it.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, again, just congratulations. It was a real privilege to support you. We had a great weekend as well, watching you, and I must admit it was just amazing watching people like Killian and Emily and some of the top guys and women who were going over that course. It was great, and because we were able to see pretty well all of them at the first 2 checkpoints, then after checkpoint 5 obviously they were away, but it was great just watching them all coming down from the Devil's Staircase and then coming down into checkpoint 5. There's lots of different styles and abilities, but it's a great sport, isn't it? And I think for someone like yourself, being able to run on the same course as someone like Killian there's very few sports where you can be on the same race as your heroes, isn't it?
I mean, so I was just saying, since it's like running 100 metres when Usain Bolt's in my heat. That's what it's like, because he had the very best. So it's a real privilege just to be part of a star-studded lineup. So I might not happen again, I don't know, but certainly that's the first time that it's happened in this country to have so many international stars. So it was a real privilege to be there.
It was.
Yeah, thanks.
So, congratulations.
Thank you for all your support, much appreciated. Brilliant. Great support team, recommend them both if you ever want a good support team, top notch.